So when you want to use Quizizz with your class, you first of all, as a teacher, you go into your Quizizz account. That means you log on to Quizizz, and that is usually by your email and password. And then once you log into your Quizizz, you go into your library, which is where you've stored all your quizzes. So you do have to write the quizzes first, unless you're using a quiz that someone else has made, and in which case you'll import it from them into your library. So here's one that I've made earlier, and it's called Recap, VET and TPs, which means Vocational Education and Training Packages. Now, some of the options which will come up on the screen we can't use unless you've got the fully paid version, and we've got the free version with a few extras because we've got multiple users from the same school or registered training organisation. Let's get started. So if we were going to use a quiz inside a training session that we were running, let's say it was an online class that we were doing via Zoom or Teams or Collaborate, look up for a moment and have a look at the screen, and then I'll be asking you to go to your device and key in a join code. And some people have used Kahoot before. That's similar to Quizizz. There are a few other different mobile app types, little activities that people can use, but some people might have never done one before, so you have to allow for that fact. Okay, so as the teacher, you have to start it up first. So we'll click here on play. So if you were running this in your class, you would either import this into your PowerPoint slides, or during a live session, you would have this open in a tab that you would swap from one tab to the other and make that open. We're going to do a live quiz. And to do that, we're going to work out what option to use. We're going to use the classic one, and we're just going to pick the classic button. Now, once you click on that, you come up with something that says join my quiz, and so you would say to your audience, now type in on your device join my quiz, and then all they have to do is joinmyquiz.com. They don't need anything else. They don't need an account. And then as soon as that comes up, they type in the join code. Now, once they've done that, they will be asked for their name, but they can use any name they want. They don't have to give their email address or anything like that. Now, if they've got the option to turn their sound down or off, that can be good to do so you haven't got too much noise happening. Okay, and then we're going to get started. And we see that 2 participants have joined, Gertie and Dan. Now, if you do get the paid version, you can do a few more things, like you can integrate into Canvas or Moodle or various other things. But for now, we're going to just do it this way. Okay, so it's going to ask some questions, and the first question is, and if we want to see the questions, we can click on here and see the questions. But your participants will see these questions on their screen. Okay, so on their screen is asking them which statement is incorrect. So they choose either the blue, the green, or the yellow option, and it tells them whether they were correct or incorrect. Now we're going to carry on, and we'll do the next question, and the next question that comes up is, what is the best description of a training package out of these choices? And there are 4 choices. So they look on their screen, on their mobile phone, laptop or tablet, and they see which one they're going to pick. And so on their screen they'll see blue, green, yellow or red, and they will type what they think the answers are, So, oops, just put that one in there. And then the next one will come up. And so the next question is, which of the following is not an endorsed component of a training package? So you can see what we're doing here. We just go through and select the answers, or the participants do, after they've attended this part of the course. So this should be a revision for them. Where would you find performance evidence in a training package? That's what comes up next. And let's see here what the answers are. And then the next one is, why do we have training implementation guides? Then which website can you get units of competency? So you can see here that they write things in. What does it mean to unpack competency standards? And we can go through there. And then the next one, what's the purpose of contextualizing competency standards? And we can see the answers there. And then number 9, how many foundation skills are described in the ACSF, the Australian Core Skills Framework? Yeah, what's the one correct answer as to the definition of reasonable adjustment? And we'll see which answers are correct. And then collectively, what are these things called? And people have to type their answers in. I just added some of these in to make sure that they're still paying attention and they have to do something. Dimensions, yep. And then which answer is correct in relation to the principles of assessment? And then what units represent typical jobs in an industry? And it starts with a Q. So that is a qualification. Oops, sometimes you can do a spelling error and you get it wrong, of course. I think I just misspelled that in there. Okay, and then found on the TGA. Oh, and also I added in a few, when you're typing up these quizzes in the first place, you can provide little extra screens, which I did. I provided a couple of little extra explanations to come up if people got them wrong. So I've just seen a couple of those pop up on the student screen, which just helps explain the answer in case they got a little bit confused as to why their answer was wrong. So here we've got skill set, and then found on tier single work activity. This is going to be a unit of competency. Which of these is not an evidence rule? And only one of them is incorrect. And the incorrect one is consistent, because that's not one. Okay, so then we've got to the end, and then they will see a little bit of info on their screen, and the whole class will see who the winner was. That's if you enable the leaderboard. You can always turn it off if you don't want to be competitive, but people usually know even if you don't have a leaderboard. So that's how that goes, and that can be quite useful. So you can, if you want, get people to do it in teams, or you can get them to call out. There's different ways you can use this, but I find it's quite handy to do it that way. You don't always have to have as many questions. I just wanted to have a variety of questions so I could illustrate to you how this all works. So that's how it works. And you can play around with it. You can shuffle the questions. You can allow them to have a second go. You can stick to true-false questions. There's all different sorts of things you can do when you set them up. Okay, thanks for that. Bye-bye.